Well, welcome along to episode 54 of the All Things Leeds podcast. I'm NkGhTg, and joining me in the studio is, as always, my co-host, Charles Foster. Hello.
Hi, mate. You alright?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm sound, yeah.
Yeah, bit cold.
Yeah,
Bit fresh outside, isn't it?
Just walked down from Horsford Station, yeah, so it's a bit bleak.
Yeah, got Storm Ciara, Storm Dennis coming up this weekend. It's awful weather, absolutely freezing. I was at Farsley Celtic last night. I was bitterly cold.
Yeah,
I was shivering, absolutely shivering.
How it is in lower league ground, and it's always cold. It could be in July, you'd be cold.
Yeah, global warming though, hate it.
Climate change, technically, mate, if we're going technical on that one.
Also joining us in the studio is a good friend of ours. It is Leeds United fan, Clark Bradley. Hello, Clark.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm not too bad. Almost got swept away this morning, but...
Yeah, who didn't? Who did not? It's been absolutely dreadful weather. It's been a week of plenty of ups and downs for Leeds United, really. Of course, we're coming up in the show, we'll be discussing last Saturday's game, which saw Leeds United lose 2-0 to Nottingham Forest away at the City Ground. Before discussing Leeds United's 1-0 draw with Brentford on Tuesday night away at Griffin Park. We'll also see how the Leeds United under-23s and under-18s have got on this week. And we'll also look at some news that has come out of Elland Road this week as well, before looking ahead to Leeds United's next game, which sees them take on Bristol City at Elland Road on Saturday. This is the All Things Leeds podcast. So let's just brush over last Saturday's game first. Leeds United, of course, losing 2-0. Yeah, just brush over it. Of course, Leeds United losing 2-0 to Nottingham Forest away at the City Ground. Charles, this was just awful, wasn't it? Just awful.
Yeah. I mean, the team that lost at Wigan didn't appear to make any performance changes for the team that lost it.
Yeah, of course, an unchanged lineup. I mean, I don't know how you don't make any changes to a team that's just lost 1-0 to Wigan at home. I don't know how you make any changes. You know, plenty of people were pretty upset, pretty disappointed, pretty surprised with the lineup. Clark, were you surprised that he left it unchanged? Were you happy with it being unchanged?
I wasn't surprised. We should have made changes, but obviously just got outplayed massively. Yeah,
Nottingham Forest were definitely the better team throughout the entire game. They bullied us at times, really, didn't they? Nottingham Forest really did bully Leeds at times. Of course, Forest took the lead on 31 minutes through Sammy Amiobi, beating NkGhTg at his near post to make it 1-0. Nice finish, but it shouldn't have gone in. Dreadful defending and dreadful goalkeeping, Charles.
Yeah, another goalkeeping error. And there's another one after that, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, so of course, we move on to Casillas' horror show against Brentford.
Very clear that there's a weak link there that needs addressing. And I don't say that as an kind of indictment on Casillas, but if you're performing badly, you get replaced. I mean, it doesn't tend to happen as much with goalkeepers, because I don't know what it is with English people managing in English football. You don't tend to swap out goalkeepers very often, even if they are performing really badly.
Yeah.
But he really does need to be dropped.
Yeah,
I'm not one of these people that's like chuck like Caprill in or something. But we can have Meslier in for a few games, can't we? Just to try it out.
Yeah,
I feel like he will make fewer defensive errors.
Yeah, because Clark, of course, Meslier played fantastic against Arsenal. Premier League side, his distribution was superb. Surely it's worth chucking Meslier in.
He can ping the ball wherever you want him to ping it, and he seems like a very good shot stopper. He's got like 3 metre long arms, so he can get to any ball. Yeah,
exactly. He's really tall. He's a really good goalkeeper, as Meslier, and I chuck him in because NkGhTg, what is up with him at the minute? Because the goal that he conceded on Saturday, he conceded a goal pretty much the exact same at his front post just a couple of weeks ago in that 2-0 loss at home to Sheffield Wednesday, didn't he?
There's no excuse for professional goalkeepers letting in shots at the near post. There
Absolutely.
just isn't. There just isn't, especially when you're on the money he's on. He's on like 30 grand a week, and he's letting in howler after howler after howler.
Yeah.
And we're so through because it's basically like every team we play has a 1-goal advantage against us, because he is going to, screw it up at some point. He's going to make a mistake.
Well, he cost us promotion last season, didn't he? Did Casillas, him and Liam Cooper. Yeah, he could cost us again because he's conceding, stupid goals, and him conceding at the front post. As you said, there's no excuse. You teach at kids level, you be strong and you cover your near post. Cover your near post, and if it goes to far post, then it's a good finish for the striker. Just cover your near post. It's awful goalkeeping, and yeah, it is quite worrying. But yeah, Forest, they fully deserve a lead. They were all over us. Of course, 1-0 to Forest at half time. Leeds created barely anything, just a few shots here and there. I remember Alioski shot just wide midway through that first half. Second half, I think Leeds played all right, but still not great. We had over possession, but just didn't do anything with it. We had 71% possession overall in the game, made 489 passes compared to Forest's 212 passes, 58% pass accuracy. We just keep possession, but we just don't do anything with it, Clark.
It's a story this season and parts of last season as well. We've got so much of the ball and we play really, really good football, but it unfortunately just isn't winning football at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like we're repeating ourselves from last season, doesn't it?
It just feels like they don't know where the net is.
Yeah.
They can play really well, but not score.
Yeah, it is quite worrying, really. Leeds, we should have been 2-0 down when Lewis Grabban's shot was saved by Casilla. Casilla was just lying down, didn't really save it. Ball just hit him. I don't know how Grabban didn't score here.
No, that was just very weird.
Yeah.
It's the best save Kiko's made in the last few games, and it was completely accidental.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Grabban didn't score. We should have definitely been 2-0 down there. But Leeds became close to an equaliser later on. Liam Cooper, free header was saved. Free header from a corner was saved. He should have scored that, shouldn't he, Charles? Liam Cooper, he's free in the box, free header, 5 yards out. How are you not scoring?
He had one against Wigan where it was similar. It was just free header. Yeah, it was just. I mean, you can say it's a good save because it did go down to goal line tech eventually.
Yeah.
But come on, it's a free header.
Free header, 5 yards out.
It should go in the net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you're 8 or 9 yards out, free headers should go in the net, or at least force a very good save.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick Bamford, who had another poor game, really. Patrick Bamford, I don't know what was up with him. Patrick Bamford's a Forest fan, so maybe he was playing poor on purpose, I don't know. But Patrick Bamford, he had another poor game, was finally subbed off on 71 minutes for new striker Jean-Kevin Augustin, who made his debut. Clark, thoughts on the 22-year-old Frenchman?
Big Kev.
Yeah.
I feel like he's really funny, and I've not seen nothing play yet. I feel like he couldn't finish. Hopefully,
yeah,
that's the one thing we need.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played okay against Forest, Charles. I mean, he seemed to be in the right areas, making all the right runs, more than Bamford was doing, at least.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know. I don't know how much time he's going to get. I mean, obviously in the Brentford game as well, he came off the bench on that 75th minute. So Bielsa's really persisted with Bamford. I mean, for such long periods.
Yeah,
and he's not really producing much.
Yeah.
Can go on about his hold-up play, and he's much better. I think he's better than Augustin at hold-up play. But I think we just need a shake-up for the season. We've had so many poor results recently. Why would you not just shake things up?
Yeah, go 2 up top.
Go 2 up top. Play Shackleton more. Dallas at left back over Alioski. Just try some new stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe give Poveda a bit of time off the bench. I mean, obviously we don't know. They're a bit unknown quantities at the moment, Augustin and Poveda, but. You don't make January signings for a laugh, do you?
Exactly. Other teams made signings and they go straight in.
Yeah, some of our signings have been funny in the past, but not funny in the way you'd want.
Yeah, I mean, other teams, when they sign a new player, they go straight in, don't they? But just not here. And we just need to shake things up, surprise the team, because we do seem to be too predictable.
Exactly.
They know who we're going to play.
Just mix it up.
Yeah, just mix up, surprise the team, and just go at them.
Never
I feel.
underestimate the value of being unexpected in the Championship, because most teams cannot handle it. Most opposition management can't handle the smallest amount of change.
Yeah.
If you change them up and do something new, a new set piece or a new move or a new kind of method of playing, even tiny tweaks here and there, you'll turn somebody over, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this league is full of awful teams. And we just happen to be one of those awful teams at the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like Gary Monk still being a manager in the Championship is enough.
Well, I mean, he can't be far off managing every club in the Championship, can he, Gary?
It's like those people that do a tour of every single EFL club ground.
Rowett and Ian Holloway and Simon Grayson, where they just work everywhere.
Yeah.
Simon Grayson got sacked today, actually, from Blackpool.
Yeah, from Blackpool, he did.
Sad to see that.
Seems like a nice guy to Simon.
Yeah, but Leeds, of course, couldn't find an equaliser in this game. 2-0 down, and we went 2-0 down in added time. Jack Harrison lost the ball on the halfway line to Joe Lawley. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Joe Lawley squared it to Tyler Walker, and Forest went 2-0 up. And yeah, 2-0 loss, just woeful, really, just woeful. And the players looked distraught as well. Luke Aylin's post-match interview on LUTV, he looked absolutely shocked, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked like he'd had enough. I mean, which the rest of us kind of have as well, man, to be fair.
Yeah.
There's some issues that need addressing in the team. I
did like the interview, though, because, you saw the raw emotion of Luke Ayling, didn't you, Clark?
You can see the care. You can see that there is issues there. I mean, you could see, I know we're going to go on to talk about it, but when we went 1-0 down, on Tuesday night, Dallas actually knows it's going to happen before it happens. If you watch the video, he's already got hands on head before.
Well, I think everyone knows what happens when Kiko Casade loses the ball. But yeah, 2-0 loss to Forest. After the weekend results, we went level on points with Fulham, who were in third. And I wasn't confident going in Tuesday night's game. I must admit, I was not confident. Were you, Clark?
I'm not confident going into any game, quite simply. I never have been watching Leeds, especially down in London.
Yeah, absolutely. Down in London away at Brentford, where they haven't won for 70 years. So, yeah, I don't think anyone was confident. Don't think anyone was expecting much. And I think everyone would have been happy with a point. And that's what we got. Of course, let's move on to Tuesday night game. Leeds United drawing 1-1 with Brentford away at Griffin Park. Now, I wasn't able to watch it because I was freezing my balls for Fazzy Celtic, as I said. Faz Celtic lost 1-0 at home to Kidderminster Harriers, so the less said about that, the better.
Less said about your balls, the better.
But it seemed that Leeds United's put in a good performance here, Charles.
The tone of surprise there, very funny. We seemed like we did play well. Obviously, I couldn't watch it either because I don't have Sky, so I would just guess watching the highlights and getting annoyed on Twitter for me.
Yeah.
I didn't tweet anything bad, but I saw that goal and I actually laughed out loud.
Clark, of course you watched it though. Did we play well? Did we play as good as people are saying we did?
Yeah, we actually played really well. We looked absolutely solid in defence. I think kind of Dallas might be the key to that because he somehow is the best left back in the Championship without being a left back. But really solid back there. Click had a really good game, spreading the ball about. I can't really share what I shouted at the TV at that Kiko mishap, we'll call it.
But I think that we look more solid though because Calvin Phillips was in, because of course Marcelo Bielsa just made one change. Calvin Phillips straight back in from his 3-match suspension. Stuart Dallas, as we say, moved to left back. A lot of fans wanted Casilla dropped and Bamford dropped. Some weren't happy. But Calvin Phillips straight back in. Of course he is going to go straight back in. He's vital to the team. And I think that with him there, we had that protection in front of the defence, and we had we were able to allow Mateusz Klich and Pablo Hernandez and the rest to have free roam really in midfield, didn't we?
Yeah, it was. We seemed more solid. Seemed much better. But I mean, it's Calvin's fault it wasn't in the team. That stupid tackle against QPR. I mean, you've got to say that.
You just hope he's learnt from it.
89th minute red card challenge. Like, what is that about? A game we were already going to lose.
Yeah, you just hope he's learnt from that. Really.
Yeah, I mean. But now he's back, and if he's keep putting in good performances like that, because he probably was him or Click probably Click be man of the match, but Calvin was very close.
Yeah. I mean, we bossed the midfield really, didn't we? From what I hear.
We kind of stifled their front three as well, because obviously they've got one of the most dangerous front threes in the Championship.
They've got a really good team to Brentford, a really good, well balanced team.
Ben Rama's probably the best player in the league as well.
Of course, Ben Rama scored in this game. Kiko Casade, mistake, 25 minutes. Kiko Casade back pass, just let the ball run past him, and then he fell over. Reminded me of Steven Gerrard falling over. It was that kind of falling over, wasn't it?
Gerrard slipped.
He couldn't control it, lost the ball, and then just slipped straight away. And Ben Rama with a tap in to make it 1-0 to Brentford. Just shocking, and Casilla, he just looks so short on confidence at the moment. And if there's any player who looks like he needs some time away from the starting 11, it's surely Kiko Casilla, isn't it?
Yeah, and he does need to be dropped. I'm not saying that as a reactionary thing, because he's made one mistake. He has made. I got this on LUFC data earlier. 5 errors leading to goals in our last 11 games. Yeah. So that's just unacceptable. Yeah, I mean, he looks so short on confidence, and it looks like he's got a lot on his mind. I mean, of course, he's got this alleged racism ban from the FA looming over his head. On a looming racism ban. He's just not playing well. Sometimes there isn't a overarching, all-encompassing reason. Sometimes players just do go through patches of being out of form. And he is out of form. Yeah. And what you should do with out of form players is drop them. Yeah, I think we all can agree that he needs to be dropped. Some people are saying that he's finished at Leeds. Clark, would you say that he's finished at Leeds? I don't actually think he's far off, to be fair. I just really like a goalkeeper that's got some control over his extremities. Yeah. Like someone that, whether it's your feet or your hands, Meslier seems like he's got that. After watching the Arsenal game, he seems like he could step into his extremities are a different postcode, though. Yeah, but he does still have control over them somehow. Yeah. But that goal was just really disappointing to concede in that manner, and the fact that we were playing so well as well, it just seemed like all the hard work had just gone to waste, really. It was just so disappointing. But as I say, Leeds were playing really well.
controlled midfield, created chances. It just felt as though we were somewhat back at our best. We weren't at our best, but we were getting there, really, because we were playing really well against a really good Brentford side, away at Brentford as well. But, of course, we equalised on 38 minutes from a corner as well, from a corner. David Raya dropped the ball and Liam Cooper tapped home to make it 1-1. Liam Cooper's first goal of the season.
Yeah, it was. There was also a foul in that goal, though. Ben White does push the keeper.
Does he?
If you watch the goal back,
He more pushes one of their players in front of the keeper, and the keeper has to get over.
Yeah, but that's a foul. He basically chucks a player in front of their keeper, so the keeper's kind of like stumbling, and Cooper just obviously punts it in the top corner. So good finish though. Yeah, good finish. First goal of the season for Liam Cooper as well. He didn't. I can't say what I was going to say. He didn't care. No, he just ran back, didn't he? He didn't even celebrate. I think that he wanted to win the game, Phillips really. Runs over to celebrate the goal and he was like, nah, we're going back to the halfway line. We're winning this game. But, we deserved the equaliser, though, didn't we, Clark? We did deserve it.
Yeah, the amount of attacking force we had, we didn't really create any clear-cut chances, but that was... One of the issues was the balls into the box. Like we're getting really nice diagonal balls over to Jack Harrison on the left from Ben White. And it was going all the way over. He'd take an amazing first touch, and then he'd do things after which weren't so good. Yeah, just a final ball, just not coming off really at times. But we deserve a equaliser. 1-1 at half time, of course. It was end to end in the second half. It seemed like a really, really entertaining game. But 1-1 was the full time score. Clark, would you say that was a fair result? I'd more pick up on that you're saying it's an entertaining game. An entertaining game for me would be us winning 7-0. I don't
entertaining for the neutrals, at least, because it was end to end.
I couldn't really care less about the neutrals, to be fair, mate.
But I don't think it was a fair result. I think we should have won that. Yeah. Quite simply, if we had a goalkeeper that could actually use his brain and his feet in conjunction, we might have.
I've seen it back a number of times. Like, I don't know how he lets the ball just go past him.
But how does he slip as well?
It's not the slip doesn't bother me. It's the fact he's looking at a ball rolling towards him and he lets it just go past him.
And this is a guy, 33 years old, played for Real Madrid. He's a professional goalkeeper. Oh. Yeah, he should be doing better. The fact of the matter is that mistake cost us 2 points in the end. That mistake did cost us 2 points.
His mistakes have cost us a lot of points. It's cost us points against Wednesday. It's cost us points against Charlton away. Like, as many times this season where I've thought that is a goalkeeping mistake, not a good finish.
Yeah. But still, 1-0 draw. I think it's still a very, very good point, really.
Wigan as well. Wigan at home, that was a goalkeeping mistake.
Yeah. But I still think that, it's still a very good point for Leeds United, though, isn't it? We all know how poor Leeds' record is away at Brentford.
We're probably going to drop out of the top two tonight, though, mate. Yeah. Because Fulham have got Millwall. Yeah. It's Millwall away, but it's still Millwall.
Yeah. But at this point, though, for us, it's still a vital, very good point.
In our playoff push.
Because we all know Leeds' poor form away at Brentford. Not won there since 26th of August 1950. For 70 years we haven't won there. To go away to a very good team in Brentford and play like that and get a point, I just think it's brilliant. It's a big, much needed point. And it just seems to have lifted everyone.
Is it just Fulham we've got to play now in the top six? Or we've got to play anybody else? Because we've got Fulham at home.
It's just Fulham.
Is it just Fulham at home?
Just Fulham in the current top six.
Yeah. So we've played. I think other teams have got some difficult games coming up as well.
Yeah.
I think Brentford have got some difficult games coming up. We have quite a lot. Our end of our season's we've got some fairly I don't want to say easier games than top six games, but we lost to Wigan, so I don't know what we're going to do about that. But we don't have to. We've only got Fulham at home. And once that's out of the way, I think we play them in like mid-March or something. And then we're done towards the end of the season.
Yeah. Then we got a fairly easy run.
We will be done towards the end.
Yeah, we always are.
Yeah, but that point though, it just seems to have lifted everyone. Do you think it's a turning point, Clark, for us now? Good point away at Brentford. Now we've got a fairly easy run until the end of the season. Do you think this is a turning point?
Hopefully we can follow this up with a big win against small man Lee Johnson's Bristol City.
We always beat Bristol City though. That's the weird thing. We are their bogey side.
Yeah. We are.
Just like Wigan are ours.
Actually, no, Millwall are our bogey side. They always turn up against us.
I don't want to back Millwall for tonight, but I've kind of got to. I feel bad doing that.
Yeah, you feel like you need a shower, don't you, back in Millwall to win a game.
Just disinfect
me. But Tuesday night point does, of course, keep Leeds United in the top two for now, though. We're 3 points behind Championship League leaders West Brom, but they have a game in hand. They travel to Reading tonight.
Can't believe we've got Cheryl and Bermondsey Rats.
God. Of course, 1 point above Fulham in third, but Fulham also have a game in hand. They take on Millwall away from home. tonight, so they could go above us, as you say, Charles. They could go above us, and we could drop out the
West
top
Brom
2.
got a game in on as well.
Yeah, I just mentioned that.
They could go it's 7 points clear of us, something like that, if they win tonight.
They're 3 points clear of us now.
I thought it was 4.
No, 3 points. So
6,
to go 6 points clear if they win the game in hand. Playing Reading away.
Reading have had some good results at home this season. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Not. Charlie Austin will probably bang 3 past them while I get annoyed on Twitter.
But yeah, Fulham play Millwall away tonight in their game in hand. So they could go above us. We could drop out the top 2. But I just think let's just forget about that. Let's just enjoy it, enjoy the ride, and see what happens. Because I think Brentford.
Enjoy the ride.
I can't.
No, well, I know, but I think that Brentford. None of us were hopeful going into that. But that result is just. I think it's opened our eyes, and
we still didn't win, mate.
Yeah,
we need to win some
I know,
games.
But I still think it's given us a bit of a boost, a bit of confidence. There's 15 games left, 45 points to play for.
A couple of home
games. A lot can
well.
happen. A lot can happen. 15 games left, 45 points. A lot can happen.
It stopped Radrizzani tweeting, so that's a good thing.
Oh, that was so frustrating. Why is he on Twitter?
He just needs to delete Twitter, doesn't he?
All the players and him need to delete all social media, apart from Big Kev. He can keep his.
But yeah, Radrizzani, those tweets after the voice game does wound me up a bit.
Just gets too wound up.
Yeah.
Clearly just gets too wound up. And not Victor Otto wound up, where you can kind of understand it. Just
destroying a TV.
Kind of like small man syndrome wound up, where he just gets really, really frustrated and angry with fans for being angry at poor performances.
Yeah, he just needs to get off Twitter, Radrizzani. Please just get off Twitter, mate. But yeah, 15 games left, a lot can happen. I'd just say keep the faith. Just keep the faith.
I don't want to hear that. That implies that none of us have any faith. We have faith.
I do. I'm confident after that point. I am confident.
The thing is about faith and belief, mate, it requires a bit of give and take. The players need to give us something for us to give them something.
Yeah.
That's how supporting a football club works. I mean, Leeds are very patient fans, mate, but I say very patient fans. I can't bear this out with a straight face.
Not with referees.
Reasonably patient fans, and we just need a bit of rewarding. And yeah, that was a good point last night, but we need to win. I've got a couple of home games now against some fairly average teams.
Yeah.
And one of them's managed by Lee Johnson, so I would like 6 points, if that's not too much to ask from the lads.
Of course, we'll.
I have faith. I won't be there personally because I'm going on holiday, but I want them to do well anyway. Yeah. And I will be watching the highlights. Yeah. And getting angry at Kiko Fisicassi letting in another near post shot.
Of course, we'll look ahead to Saturday's game at home against Bristol City later on in the show. But now let's move on to the Leeds United under-23s, who have played 2 games since we last recorded this podcast. Last Friday night, they faced Derby County in the group stages of the Premier League Cup. The game was played at Bootham Crescent, the home of York City. You had the likes of Ellie Caprill, Barry Douglas, Cameron Phillips, Jean-Kevin Augustine playing. It was good to see them get a run out. Charles, you were there. Were you impressed with any of them?
Yeah, Caprill was quite good. His distribution isn't quite as good as Meslier's, and obviously he's much shorter. He looks a bit small to be a goalkeeper. To be fair, he looks like only a bit taller than me.
He is 18-year-old.
Yeah, I think he's like 5'11" or maybe possibly 6 foot. But he's not that big. Their first goal was a penalty, which wasn't a penalty. Callum Phillips was guarding the ball out from a whipped-in cross, and he kind of slightly nudged their player as he was running along, and it was given as a pen immediately. So, the Football League's corrupt, etc., etc.
The 23s League's corrupt.
The second goal was the ball just got whipped in. Barry Douglas was playing somebody in Darlington onside. He was that far back, and they just headed it in, and it was 2-0. And our goal was kind of the only bit of good play, because it was the first half was fairly poor. The second half was much better. The only bit of good play in the first half was like a kind of a flowing move down the right, which got whipped in across goal, and Theo Hudson scored, and that was really good. He was quite good to watch. Yeah, Pavedi was pretty good, but he's skillful, but he was a bit lightweight. Yeah, he did get ease off the ball a bit, but he can work on that. Yeah,
Augustine, seeing him in the flesh for the first time.
Yeah, he didn't get much service. He only played the first half. He didn't get much service, but yeah, he's got some. He's a good technical player. He's really good on the turn, which is I know Bielsa is a very big fan of players on the turn. I quite enjoyed his movement.
Yeah, but of course we did unfortunately end up losing 2-1.
Yeah.
But we did bounce back in the next game on Monday afternoon. They thrashed Bolton Wanderers 4-1 at Thorpe Arch, thanks to goals from Niall Huggins and Liam McCarron in the first half, and John Stevens and Bobby Camwa in the second half. The under-23s have now gone 9 league games unbeaten in the Professional Development League. Superb stuff Superb stuff from Carlos Corberan's side.
Yeah. He was getting quite agitated at Derby County, but obviously with the loss. But it's nice to see the under-23s continue doing well in the league. I think we do need some signings, though. If we were to, become a Tier 1 academy, we would need to make a few new signings, because we tend to, when we're playing these kind of PL2 sides in cup competitions, we do get a bit battered.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is. They've got more money, they've got better facilities. That's just how it's done. But yeah. I'm pleased to see him doing well in the league, and hopefully we can come Tier 1. And I always like watching the youth sides, because you kind of think in your head, it'd be nice to spot the next one that's going to come through, like he's some kind of scout, even though in reality you're just some I can't say what I was going to say, some guy watching the youth teams play, and you enjoying yourself. But of
course, these guys are the future of this football
club.
The future
of the club. I'm particularly impressed with McKinstry. I do like McKinstry, and I like Liam McCarron as well.
Yeah,
they're really good, kind of skillful. I think about Scottish as well, Scottish wingers. So
Scotland's got a bright future now.
You'll like that one, mate. I think especially McKinstry, he's got some really good footwork.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he's in the under-18s, but obviously plays in the under-23s a bit as well. Yeah,
Leeds United under-18s, of course, were in action this week as well. Last Wednesday night, they unfortunately lost 1-0 to Manchester United in the 5th round of the FA Youth Cup. The game was played at Old Trafford. Around 1,500 Leeds fans travelled. Charles, you and I went. This was, despite the result, this was a pretty good night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't really care about the game. I went for the atmosphere, and I enjoyed that.
It was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were kind of mugging off their fans, and they had like this little patch of like a box of about 30 of them who were clearly their ultras. Who were the rest of them were all like sat down like families and kids. There was like 30 of them like singing and that. There was a bit of controversy, obviously, because of the Munich chant, which I didn't take part in, and you didn't either.
Yeah,
there was only about 20 Leeds fans near the front who were just,
probably just really drunk.
Being out of order. Yeah, it was out of order. Like it's all fun and games, taking the mick out of them, and having a go at the fact that the stadium was empty for an under-18s game, which was pretty funny.
Yeah,
and obviously all the shoes off if you ate Man U chants, which are funny.
And Sideshow Bob chants.
Sideshow Bob chants. that was just pure bullying.
Bullying 16-year-olds.
It's got a weird enough name anyway. It's called Hannibal.
Yeah, we were massively. I think what was it? McKinstry at the end of the game who absolutely levelled him.
Yeah,
in front of the away fans. Just went in on him and picked up a yellow for it. But yeah, it was a really good day out. I mean, Chris drove us down. I met Chris, who's been on podcast before. Drove us down and drove us back, and yeah, it was nice. We had a margarita sub in Subway.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, 1,500 Leeds fans packing out the away end and just singing from the first minute to the last. It was a fantastic atmosphere. Of course, we don't condone those terrible chants about the Munich disaster. If you don't like Millwall fans chanting about Turkey, don't chant about the Munich disaster. That's it's just not on. It's not on. It's just not acceptable. But good night anyway. Fantastic, and as well for the players as well, for getting the result, it must have been a fantastic experience for the youngsters to play at Old Trafford, which is, a world-class stadium. We need to admit it's a world-class stadium, is Old Trafford. And they played there, and they had 1,500 Leeds fans in the away end singing their hearts out. It must have been a fantastic experience for them.
Yeah, I particularly enjoyed our number 9, who had a really good day. And I think the referee was massively card happy to send him off as well.
Yeah.
He was kind of... he always did go in one of their plays with his knee, but the first time he got booked, he shouldn't have got booked, so he should have been off. But yeah, the team played really well. I mean, as well as you can do, because they've obviously got much more money piled into the youth system than we do. And they went down literally every chance they got. They went down, particularly Sideshow Bob, who spent his entire night on the floor.
Have you seen that video of Sideshow Bob's best bits from that game? Best bits in quotation marks. It's him falling over for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's just him
awful video.
Falling under very mild pressure.
He's like Jack Grealish, but somehow with worse hair.
Yeah, he did remind me of Grealish.
It's like a 5-foot Fellaini.
It's like if you didn't just dive all over the place, you'd be quite entertaining to watch, because he's clearly quite good at football.
He was their best player.
By far their best player. I mean,
he's worth £5 million.
He got man-marked a bit, though. Like, Cresswell didn't really let him out of his sight whenever he crossed the halfway line. Of
course, it was hard for us because we did go down to 10 men and striker got sent off, so that made it a lot more difficult to find the equaliser, but wouldn't have lost. But who stood out for you, Charles, in that game? Because I thought defender Charlie Cresswell and Stuart McKinstry, I thought those guys were superb.
Yeah, they were really good. I don't know who it was that played up front for us. He was really good.
Was it Camwa?
It wasn't Camwa. No, he wasn't playing. Was it Camwa?
I don't know.
I remember seeing on Twitter a few times.
It might have been Cam. Anyway, I was quite impressed with him as well. Yeah, but McKinstry was just particularly good because whenever he was on the ball, he just mugged them off.
Yeah, he was our best player going forward.
Weaved his way through 3 or 4 players every time. He was really good, and it was just a shame that we couldn't finish off any chance that we had. We had like a one-on-one in the first half where we nicked the ball on the edge of the box and we tried to take it round the keeper. We didn't obviously get the shot on target. We had a couple of like long range shots and a few corners and that, which went a little bit close. But they were. Let's be fair, they were reasonably comfortable. We just defended quite well, and then they scored off when we just couldn't get they were just pounding crossing after cross in the first half at one point, and we just tried this in the second half.
It's a good header, to be fair.
It was a good header, but we just couldn't get it over. We couldn't get it clear, and then they just whipped it back in, and we just couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, we were just there for the atmosphere. I enjoyed myself.
And it was good to see the youngsters who I don't really, I watch the under-23s a lot. I don't watch the under-18s a lot. So it was good to see those play. And as I say, McKinstry was fantastic. Cresswell, I thought he was brilliant.
I think he's got a future at Leeds, as Cresswell. He's a really good defender.
Well, he's tall, he's strong, and he's good on the ball, like with the ball at his feet.
He's not fast though. He's not
fast, but he defended superbly. I thought he was fantastic. And
really
of course,
good.
his dad used to play for Leeds, so I think he's got a future. I think he'll look really, really good. But really, really good night last Wednesday.
Get him in the first team. Yeah, absolute beast.
Yeah, but we did lose last Wednesday night, but it was still a fantastic night anyway. Really enjoyed myself there. Well, let's move on to some news now. And Leeds United Director of Football Victor Orta and Head of Communications James Mooney were both given a one-game stadium ban for misconduct relating to an incident that happened during the 3-2 win over Millwall Elland Road in January. Victor Orta was fined £2,000 and James Mooney was also given a £700 fine. Reports say that they confronted the referee at half-time. Now, we obviously don't condone that, but to be fair, Clark, you can't blame him for having gone to the referee for that Millwall game because that referee was atrocious.
I feel like they're fully within the rights to do so, as long as they're not like punching him or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you're telling the referee how to do his job correctly, then it's fine.
We've all seen what Victor Orta did to that TV up in the executive area. If he was doing that to the ref, then there might be a bit of an issue.
But if they're just shouting at the referee and telling him how to do his job correctly, then
yeah, that's fine. I'm just.
It was such a poor performance from him as well.
God.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot blame him for having to go to the referee. I think because you kind of want to high five Mooney and Orton for doing that, really, because they did what 35,000 other fans in that ground wanted to do at that same time. They wanted, everyone else wanted to do that.
Worse, mate.
They were already doing it. He was already getting loads of abuse.
But at least someone told him to his face.
He finally gave us a corner, and the entire stadium was cheering.
Like we'd scored a goal.
Like we scored a goal. Purely because he'd let so many go.
Yeah. I mean, it's just passion, really, isn't it? When a referee's playing poor, you having to go to the referee. It's just passion, But you want the referee to do his job correctly, and there wasn't. Victor Orta, James Mooney were given one-game stadium bans. Have already served those, but yeah, interesting story. You probably won't see that too often. A media manager getting a stadium ban and a fine, but I mean, who can blame him for that?
I wonder how much money, how much money they're on though, because it's £2,000 is not much for a professional footballer, but if you're only on like 80 grand.
Well, Victor Orta's director of football, so he'll be on a lot.
Yeah, but I don't imagine James Mooney on a huge amount. Yeah,
but £700. I imagine he's earning a lot more than us.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Probably.
I hope so. For its sake.
But some interesting news there. In other news, we've got an injury update on midfielder Adam Forshaw. He will travel to Stedman Clinic in Colorado, United States, to undergo hip surgery. He picked up the injury during Leeds' pre-season friendly at Cagliari last summer and tried to overcome it without surgery, but he just hasn't, and he hasn't played since September. The decision comes after discussions between the club and various experts. The operation will unfortunately rule the 28-year-old out for the rest of the season. Charles, this is quite sad news, really.
I think the club have been very idiotic on this.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he has been out for 4 months, and they haven't, and no one's turned around and gone, should we just get the surgery for him like 2 months ago, and he'll be back for like March. Why don't we just do that?
Yeah, exactly.
They're going, no, he'll be fine. Yeah, but he's been out for 4 months.
Yeah.
It's like clearly something going wrong there.
Yeah.
People with ACLs come back in 6 or 7. It's not that bad, is it?
Yeah. I mean, I do think they should have done...
As soon as he got it, a few weeks go by, and he realised he wasn't going to get better, they should have got him the surgery, and he could have been back for, end of February, March time. And we could have used him in the running.
Yeah,
now
absolutely.
We can't use him in the running because of indecision.
Yeah.
And that I know we're not supposed to. I don't know. I'll say supposed to. We don't really criticise the club that much, but that is.
It is pretty stupid as well.
Stupid decision to make.
Yeah, and you have to ask as well. You know, if we knew that Forshaw would probably have to do surgery and be out for a number of time, why didn't we bring in a replacement in the January transfer window?
Because that's not the Leeds way, really, is it?
Because we would have gone over the either the loan, the amount of loan players you can have in a squad, or definitely gone over FFP if we'd have done that.
Yeah, we try to stay in the boundaries, don't we? But I still think it maybe should have looked for a replacement. Really.
We should have just said, right, screw the boundaries. Let's just go buy 6 or 7 players. Let's just win this league. Because honestly,
that would have been nice.
Because you're in the Premier League, what are they going to do?
Yeah, that's what Villa can did. Yeah, just spend a lot of money and bank on going up with
Teams do it all the time. Wolves did it to a certain extent, and it works because this league is easy to buy.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, I'd agree with you. Pretty stupid from the club not to do the surgery earlier, and it's quite sad news because Adam Forshaw, he's a good option. He did fantastic at the beginning of the season, and he would have been really good for the running. But now we won't have him. He'll be very sadly missed. Really, I would have liked him there as the
Click
option.
are our only proper kind of actual centre mids.
Yeah, I mean Forshaw's really good, but it's good that he's getting surgery. Good luck to Adam Forshaw. Hope he has a good and speedy recovery.
Because obviously Calvin's more of he is a DM. He's not really we don't play him in regular midfield.
I mean Forshaw.
You could probably play him in regular midfield.
Forshaw would be Calvin Phillips' perfect replacement, really, if Calvin Phillips is out.
I wouldn't say perfect.
No, not perfect replacement, but he can play there. We know that he can play there.
He just keeps it ticking over. That is Forshaw's best skill.
Yeah.
Like
what Matt Grimes is for Swansea.
I
hate Matt Grimes.
But what's happened?
When he was on loan at Leeds.
Yeah, but what's happened recently? Calvin Phillips 3-game suspension. Forshaw could have just been chucked in there, and he would have been fine for those 3 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck to Adam Forshaw for his recovery. Hopefully he recovers fast and very well as well. And finally, Leeds United have announced a season ticket price freeze for the 2020-21 season. 9 years in a row there's been a price freeze. So Charles, this is great news.
Yeah, it's good news, but it's still like. It's not like they're giving us. It's not 50 quid. It's like still a lot of money.
Yeah, near 400 quid for us.
People going, oh, it's a great price for it. It's like, yeah, it's still like 400 quid. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah, near £400 for an 18 to 22-year-old.
It's even more if you're over 22.
Yeah, we're probably paying the highest prices in the Championship, really.
Us or Wednesday, probably, yeah.
I mean, I know that Premier League clubs charge less than us.
Yeah, I mean, Huddersfield, what do they charge? Like 200 quid. Yeah. But then again, you've got to go to Huddersfield, so you pay a different price.
What's worse about
bad enough if you live there.
What's worse about that is that it's 9 years in a row there's been a ticket price freeze. See, when we were going through all those dark years, those really awful, when we had really awful teams, we were paying premium prices for awful football.
Bates famously said, you can charge these lot anything because they'll still come.
And that's true.
I hate Ken Bates.
Have you seen all the stuff on Facebook about the councilman?
Yeah,
in America.
Oh, Kenneth Bates.
Yeah, if you don't already, go follow the square ball. Yeah, because it's very funny.
Yeah, it is very funny.
I wanted to cheer myself up the other day.
It's just funny. Some random American councillors getting all the grief off Leeds fans.
Yeah, it is
like,
quite funny.
I actually feel sorry for the bloke, but I hear he's quite right wing, so I don't feel that bad.
It is quite funny. Go and listen to the Square Ball to get all the updates and that. We won't steal their bit. But yeah,
I'm sure they won't mind some free advertisement.
But yeah, season ticket price freeze for the next season. So yeah, great news. Good that they're not upping the prices even more because we're already paying ridiculous prices. But yeah, good on the club to reward the loyal fans really. Now let's look ahead to Leeds United's next game. They take on Bristol City at Elland Road this Saturday afternoon. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. Charles, thoughts going into Saturday's game?
I hope we win. Yeah, I'm fairly confident because we've normally got a good record against Bristol City. It's a home game. I mean, obviously we've had some Wigan. Yeah, I'm trying to ignore that in my. But yeah, I think we're going to win. To be fair, I actually do think we're going to win.
Yeah, but Bristol City though, they're having a decent season. They've played 31 league games, won 14, drawn 8, lost 9 to 7th in the league on 50 points, just 6 points behind us.
I mean, they're well on course to finish their standard 8th or 9th like they do every season because of how shrieky Lee Johnson is. He can win 7 games on a bounce, but then he will lose 7 games on a bounce.
You can't see anything above 8th, really, can he?
No, because he's See anything. That's cool. That's longer than I'd like to admit that. Yeah.
But Bristol City, they did lose 3-1 at home to Birmingham City last Friday night. But they do take on Derby County at home tonight, so we don't know the result going into this game at the weekend. They could win that. Derby County aren't doing too great this season either.
Draw, 'cause I don't want to see Derby win the game.
But before that, Birmingham lost, though. They had won 6 league games in a row, so Clark, they're not a bad side. It's certainly going to be a tough game.
I just saw on here that they've got Naki Wells, and now I'm
Revenge.
not very happy.
Revenge on Naki Wells here.
I hated him when he was at Huddersfield. I hated him when he was at QPR, and I still hate him now.
Just stick Berardi on it.
Always scores against us as Naki Wells.
Yeah, he does. I mean, time for revenge. Naki Wells, you did that thing a few weeks ago against QPR. Revenge.
Stick Berardi in and just break him.
Yeah.
Just break him, put him out for the season. I'd have no sympathy for him.
I can't say I'd be too upset if we injured him for the rest of the season. Not that I'm encouraging our players to be violent, but
no.
You know.
But we just don't like Naki Wells.
No.
Just don't like him. Bristol City's characteristics on whoscored.com, as we've been doing recently. So the strengths, they are very strong at attacking down the wings, are very strong at finishing scoring chances.
Great.
They're strong at creating chances using through balls, and strong at stealing the ball from the opposition.
Right.
They got a lot of weaknesses though. So they're weak at the following: defending against long shots, protecting the lead, stopping opponents from creating chances, aerial duels, avoiding individual errors, defending counter-attacks, and defending set pieces.
It's good that they're bad at defending the lead, because we're going to give them a goal to start off with.
Yeah, they're going to go 1-0 up at some point.
Counter-attacks as well, we like to do that. Not really bothered about them being weak at defending set pieces, because we never score from set pieces.
Nice to have Jack Harrison taking them. Get Jack Harrison on the corners.
Get Jackie Harrison on, yeah, absolutely. Bristol City style of play, so they attempt through balls often, attack through the middle, attack down the right, they play long balls, playing in their own half, and they are non-aggressive. So,
I think be non-aggressive as a football team.
I don't know. Take of that what you will.
Come by our style of football.
Yeah, take of that what you will. But Leeds, of course, drew 1-0 at Brentford in the last game, so we'll be full of confidence from that. Good point, really. Just need to build on that, focus on ourselves, and do what we need to do. As you've said, Charles, Leeds have a fantastic record against Bristol City. We've only lost one of the last 15 meetings with them.
We always beat them. No matter how badly we're playing. I remember in the Christiansen season, we were like on a horrendous run of form, and then we went to Ashton Gate, won 3-0, and then Brady got sent off for nutting somebody, but that happened quite well.
Yeah.
But we can do that again this game if you want.
Yeah. But we always do fantastic against Bristol. As I say, one loss in the last 15 meetings, 2 draws and 12 wins there. Phenomenal record. Of course, we did a double over them last season. We, of course, beat them 3-1 away in the opening game of the season back in August. Will we do the double over them here again this season? Will we do the double? Score prediction, Charles?
2-1 Leeds.
2-1 Leeds. Clark?
I'm going 2-0 Leeds, because I don't think
we're not going to get a clean sheet, mate.
I don't think we'll start Kiko.
Yeah, we're not. We're not going to get a clean sheet, are we?
I guarantee you we'll start.
If we put Mesley in, the crowd will be behind him. Crowd will be behind the team at that point, to be fair, and I think we could get a clean sheet with that if we keep the back four as it was.
It's not on Sky, is it?
No.
I was going to watch it down in London, but if it's not on Sky, then I guess I won't.
I'm going to go 3-1 Leeds United. I reckon we'll go behind, but then we'll.
I don't want to. I'm sick of going 1-0 down, mate.
We're going to be starting.
We need to. We need to give him a goal advantage. We need to. We know this now. We need to. Other games to watch out for this. Other games to watch out for this weekend. West Brom take on Nottingham Forest at West Brom. You've also got Brentford there taking on Birmingham City away. Fulham are at home to Barnsley, and the rest of them don't.
It's in our interest for West Brom to actually beat Forest there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care about going top in the slightest.
Yeah, as long as we go up in the top 2, I'm fine. So hopefully West Brom beat Nottingham Forest there. Brentford away at Birmingham, that could be tough for them. And Fulham at home to Barnsley. Fulham will probably win that one. Not really bothered about the other games in the Championship. Those are the ones that kind of matter for us, really. Hopefully Leeds United do pick up the win this weekend. But that does bring us to the end of episode 54 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me in the studio.
No worries, mate.
And thank you very much, as always, to Clark for joining us as well.
Thank you for having me.
It's been good to have you. And thanks to everyone as well who has listened or watched. We really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed them, why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, share the podcast around as well. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds on Facebook. Search All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Search All Things Leeds on there. Follow Clark Bradley as well on Twitter. What's your handle?
At C_Lark Bradley.
And Charles, what's your Twitter handle? Because you've got a new one, haven't you?
I did get a new one because I followed too many people and I was just seeing bad stuff on my timeline all the time. At cynical_Leeds.
And as I say, at All Things Leeds 1. Charles and I will be back next week. But for now, take care and we'll speak soon.